imagine standing in a quiet basement somewhere in central Turkey. The walls are old plaster over volcanic rock. You swing a hammer into one of them, expecting nothing. Maybe some loose rubble, maybe a rat's nest. The plaster cracks. Then the rock behind it gives way. And behind that rock, there is a tunnel. Not a pipe, not a crack. A tunnel, carved with deliberate precision into the earth, disappearing into darkness in both directions. You step inside, and the tunnel leads to another tunnel, and that one leads to a chamber, and the chamber opens into a staircase, and the staircase descends into another level, and then another, and then another. 18 levels in total, 85 meters straight down. Chapels, stables, schools, wine presses, armories, ventilation shafts, water wells, and rolling stone doors designed to be sealed from the inside. You have just found a city, an entire city buried beneath your house that no one alive knew existed, and it was built to hold 20,000 people. This is Derinkuyu, the largest excavated underground city on Earth. A structure so vast, so precisely engineered and so deliberately hidden that it went undetected for centuries beneath an ordinary Turkish town. And the most unsettling part is not its size. It is the fact that whoever built it expected to need it. Derinkuyu sits in the Cappadocia region of central Turkey, a landscape shaped by millions of years of volcanic activity. The ground here is composed of tuff, a soft volcanic rock formed from compressed ash. It is easy to carve but surprisingly strong once shaped. It does not crumble. It holds its form. And for thousands of years, the people who lived in this region figured out that tuff was the perfect material for building underground. Cappadocia is riddled with subterranean structures. Over 200 underground shelters have been identified in the region, roughly 40 of them extending to at least 2 levels. But Derinkuyu dwarfs them all. The complex descends 85 meters below the surface, the equivalent of a 28-story building buried upside down into the earth. It encompasses 18 distinct levels, connected by narrow passages and staircases carved directly into the rock. And it was designed not just as a hiding place, but as a fully functioning underground city, capable of sustaining thousands of people for months at a time without any contact with the surface. The engineering is extraordinary. More than 50 ventilation shafts, some extending all the way from the deepest levels to the surface, kept air circulating throughout the complex. Several of these shafts doubled as wells, providing fresh water to every level. The upper floors contained living quarters, communal meeting rooms, and kitchens. The middle levels held storerooms, wine and oil presses, cellars large enough to feed a population through an extended siege. The lower levels contained stables for livestock, positioned deep enough that odors would not reach the living areas, with dedicated channels for waste management. But the most telling features are the defenses. The entrances to Derinkuyu were hidden. Over 600 access points have been identified, most of them concealed within ordinary-looking surface buildings, courtyards, and basements. Once inside, the tunnels were protected by massive circular stone doors, each weighing roughly 500 kilograms. These doors could only be opened and closed from the inside. From the outside, they were immovable. Each level could be sealed independently, so that if invaders breached one floor, the residents below could isolate themselves entirely. The main tunnel connecting levels was designed to be narrow enough that only one person could pass through at a time, making it nearly impossible for an attacking force to advance. And the residents on the lowest levels could cut off the water supply to the upper floors at will, ensuring that even if enemies occupied the surface and upper levels, they could not use the city's own infrastructure against the people hiding below. This was not a cave. This was a fortress designed by people who expected to be hunted. The question of who built Derinkuyu has no definitive answer. Some archaeologists attribute the earliest construction to the Hittites, around 2000 BC. Others point to the Phrygians, around 700 BC. The clearest archaeological evidence comes from the Byzantine era, between the 6th and 10th centuries AD, when Greek-speaking Christians expanded and refined the complex extensively. They added chapels, schools, and baptismal pools. One room on the second level features a barrel-vaulted ceiling unique among all the underground cities in Cappadocia, suggesting it served a special purpose, possibly as a religious school or a meeting hall for community leaders. What is certain is that Derinkuyu was used repeatedly across centuries by different civilizations, each one inheriting the tunnels and carving deeper. It served as a refuge during the Arab-Byzantine wars between the 8th and 12th centuries, when raids from the south made surface life periodically impossible. It sheltered communities during the Mongol incursions of the 14th century. And as late as the early 20th century, the Greek and Armenian Christian populations of the region were still retreating underground during periods of persecution. The city was not a relic of a single era. It was a living infrastructure of survival, expanded and maintained across at least 2,000 years of continuous human fear. And Derinkuyu was not alone. An underground tunnel stretching between 8 and 9 kilometers connects it to another underground city, Kaymakli. The two cities could communicate and move people between them entirely below ground. In 2015, construction workers in nearby Nevşehir accidentally broke through into yet another underground complex, this one estimated to be even larger than Derinkuyu, extending 113 meters below the surface and covering nearly 5 million square feet. It is still being excavated. The implication is staggering. Beneath the surface of Cappadocia, there is an entire network of interconnected underground cities, most of them still unmapped, some of them still undiscovered. Let's pause here, because I want you to hold the full weight of this. Beneath a quiet Turkish town, beneath houses and gardens and paved roads, there are 18 levels of carved stone extending 85 meters into the earth. Ventilation systems, water supplies, stables, churches, rolling stone doors that seal from the inside, tunnels to other cities kilometers away, a population capacity of 20,000 people. And nobody on the surface knew it was there until a man knocked down a wall in his basement in 1963. Today, roughly half of Derinkuyu is open to visitors. The other half remains unexcavated or inaccessible. The Turkish government maintains the site as part of the Göreme National Park and the rock sites of Cappadocia UNESCO World Heritage designation. Tourists descend into the upper levels, walk through the narrow corridors, and pose next to the rolling stone doors. But the deeper levels, the ones where the stables once held livestock and the lowest chambers stored grain from months-long sieges, are largely closed to the public. The air grows thinner as you descend. The corridors narrow. The silence becomes absolute. Archaeologists continue to study the complex, particularly the relationship between Derinkuyu and the dozens of other underground cities in the region. Each new construction project in Cappadocia risks breaking through into another unknown void. Each survey reveals more tunnels, more chambers, more connections between cities that were thought to be separate. The underground geography of Cappadocia is being rewritten in real time, one accidental discovery at a time. What makes Derinkuyu stay with you is not the engineering, although the engineering is remarkable. It is the motivation. Nobody builds a city for 20,000 people 85 meters underground unless staying on the surface means death. Nobody carves 18 levels into solid rock, installs ventilation shafts and water supplies and livestock pens and rolling stone doors that seal from the inside, unless the threat above is so severe and so persistent that the only option is to disappear entirely. Derinkuyu was not built in a moment of crisis. It was expanded over centuries by generation after generation of people who knew, from lived experience, that the world above would eventually try to kill them again. And they were right, every time. For 2,000 years, The surface brought armies, raiders, persecutions, and invasions. And every time, the people of Cappadocia descended into the earth, sealed the doors behind them, and waited in the dark until it was safe to come back up. The city is still there. The doors still roll. The ventilation shafts still draw air. And beneath the roads and houses of modern Derinkuyu, most of it has never been fully explored. The town sits on top of its own ghost, a city beneath a city, carved by people whose names have been forgotten, built for a purpose that never stopped being relevant: survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.